recording, so nobody can. If you go to the website, it's kind of funny. It stands for No Pants, Mom. Or it stands for Manager, no package. So yeah, you make a package to do something useful and you can publish it here. So the one we're going to talk about today is readline sync. This one will allow us to take input from our users. So we need to start getting used to reading documentation. So if we're using a package and we have questions about it, very likely towards the end of the class, you will be using packages that Nate or I or Emily haven't seen before. And what we'll do is we'll go through the if you ask for our help, we'll just like go through the documentation with you and try and figure out how to use what they're saying. Readline Sync's documentation is very good, and it's a pretty fun package. So a lot of times it'll have a lot of example code for you. That's what I kind of look for, example code. I look for good descriptions when I'm looking for packages. If you're trying to figure out which package to use, another place you can look is the downloads. So if they're getting a lot of downloads, it's probably a more credible package. But anyway, so to use an NPM package, yeah, it's zooming right now. But I do need the reminder. So, yeah, I'll show you this command, but you don't necessarily need to use it. npm init. So this makes your own project an npm module. It's not, or a node module. And all it does is after you answer all these questions, is this okay? Yes. Is it creates this package.json file. And this is just like metadata about your module. And it is useful, but not, yeah, it's useful. So you just like open up the project folder? Yes. Yep, that's exactly right. You open up the project folder and say npm init. And if you don't want to get asked all those questions, the defaults are usually just fine. But you can do npm init-y, and it will create that package. And the reason that this is nice for us is when we install the third-party package that we want to use, it'll keep track of it in here in package.json, and then we do something to ignore the node modules. So everybody follow along with me now. Yeah, and go to your assignments folder. So we're going here because this is where your Git repo is. And then you can go into, we're going to be writing some code. So you can open that in Visual Studio or whatever. Here, I'll do that too. So here I have exercises projects, and this guy's hanging out there for some reason. What is this? I'm going to delete.
So do we do this just in the assignments itself, or do we make a project folder right now?
No, in the assignments itself. Yeah. Yep. So new file, and it's going to be called .gitignore. And visual. We're doing that in the assignments. Yeah, in assignments.
So just add the npm init.
No. So forget about npm init for a second. Sorry.
Okay, so we just drag the assignments into VS Code.
Don't. What do you mean? Yeah, you can open it in the context. We're just creating a new file inside of assignments. So yeah, if you drag assignments onto the Xcode icon to open. Okay, we're starting over right now. Go to assignments and make a dot get ignore. Okay, in assignments, we're just going to put node modules. So when we install these third-party packages, it's going to make a node modules folder. We don't want that stuff pushed up to GitHub on our GitHubs. So all these third-party packages, a lot of them have a lot of code. We don't want to be storing that on our GitHub, so we ignore that. All right, is everybody done with this?
So you just write that text in the file?
Yeah, I just wrote that text in the file. Not a new folder, a new file. Dot get ignore. You'll know it's titled right if you have this little symbol in Visual Studio. It's all right here. I don't need it. It's dot get ignore in assignments. However you make new files. Use this button. Okay.
So there's no / after modules.
No, you don't need it. This is probably ideal. Okay. So don't worry about following along from here. I'm just going to talk about node modules. So the command you need to memorize is npm install, and then the name of the third-party package. You can also just use npmi, and then we're going to download readline sync. Yeah, so if you notice, in here, did not save it. Oh, I'm in the wrong file. Don't worry about it right now. But sorry, it's npm install. That's the command that we're. No. Okay. So here I am in my project folder itself. So go to the project that you're interested in using this third-party package in, and we'll type npm install and then the name of the file. And that creates the node modules folder for us, and every third-party package that we install will go inside of node modules. Package.lock, this makes things quicker. Sometimes it causes bugs though. So if you're running into hard bugs, you could try deleting package.json. Anyway, when we do the npm install, we get this added to our dependencies. So I can show you that again. I'll take us back. So the npm install, what it does is it makes a node modules folder, downloads our package into it, and then adds these lines to the package.json.
So what does the syntax right before the 1.4.10?
Oh, this right here?
Yeah, I've always wondered what those mean.
Yeah. Is it just saying, hey, this is the version? By giving this little up arrow right here?
don't some of them have like tilde slashes and, they mess up with specifics.
Yeah, I don't know. What I know is the version number is important because what can happen, since node modules won't be pushed to GitHub, your friend or whoever is using your code, they just npm install, or they clone your repo, they clone it down, and it has a package.json, so all they have to do is npm I. npm I by itself, without a package name, looks for package.json, looks for which dependencies it has, and goes through and installs them all. So that way they're not stored anywhere else besides like they're in npm itself. Does that make sense? Any questions? They're stored, yeah, so right now they're stored locally right here. And once somebody clones down your repo and runs npm I, it downloads them and then it's stored locally for them too.
But they're going online to find it, right?
Well, they don't have to because it's in package.json. Yeah, so they just have to run npm I and then they'll be good to know that even the correct version will be downloaded for them. So they have all the same code.
Would they just do that when they're in the package JSON or where?
They would be, yeah, I think npm I will search the folder for package.json. If it doesn't find it there, it'll go to a parent. Maybe. But yeah, probably just be inside the project folder itself. Okay, readline sync. This is the fun stuff. So we need to first like import this code to our file to use it. And when we do that, we're gonna assign a variable. Some people with readline will use ask, but you just make up a variable, oftentimes the name of the package. And then you say equals, and then you'll use require. I think it's require. And then the name of the package. Now we have access to the readline object, and it has a bunch of cool methods. So the first one is .question. And this is all in the docs, and it tells you like what .question takes and what it will return. What it takes is a string, and it's going to be a question that we're going to pose to the user. So what is your name, dear user? So when we run this with node, and then the name of our file, right here, it's printing that question out to the console and expecting a response. So we're going to say Kathy, because Kathy's our user. But it doesn't do anything because we haven't told it to do anything yet. So oftentimes what we'll do is assign a variable to whatever .question returns.
Why do you need a package to do that?
I think the native JavaScript might be confusing, like it's using this, I forget what native methods it uses, like st something or other. But the package just packages up nicely and gives us a bunch of methods, like .question and a few other really nice methods to, yeah, and like coding that we don't want to have to think through or do over and over.
Was this kind of similar to jQuery?
Yeah. So jQuery is a third-party library that gives you like a lot of nice methods, and yeah, that's what packages are all about. So what is your name? And we can do whatever we want with the user's input. So you're going to be making a calculator. So you'll have an input for 2 numbers and then like an operation, add, subtract, multiply. So there's a really nice method for asking if they want to add, subtract, or multiply. And it's key and select. Ooh, Visual Studio gives you a list of all the nice methods that come in with readline sync. So key and select takes a string, but it takes it as its second argument. And its first argument is an array of options. So let's do add, subtract. Let's just do add and subtract. So now it gives us this cool output. So this is all stuff that readline sync is doing for us. And then the user just has to hit one of these numbers. I'll go through it real quick. If we notice, this is no longer, name is now a bad variable for this. So we'll say like operation. But it's actually going to give us an index. So I'm gonna go with add. So I'm gonna hit the number 1 and notice what gets logged. 0 got logged, but that's because add is in the 0th index in our array. So to get add to console log, we can say, well, we'd have to refer to the array again, I guess. So we're gonna say choices here and have an array named choices. And then we could have choices at the index of operation. So now I'm gonna push 2, and we expect subtract to be logged. All right, do I need to back up or go over that anymore?
Could you just say operation plus 1? Would that also work?
Yeah, operation plus 1 would give you 1 for add and 2 for subtract, yeah. For, if you hit 0, gives you -1.
Oh, okay.
But it throwing back an index is useful because, yeah, then you can just use the index itself. Even if you're writing an if statement, yeah, I would probably write the if statement like this. If choices bracket operation equals add. And I would do it like that instead of does operation equal 0, because when I read operation equals 0, it's hard for me to I have to refer back to previous code to really understand what that line is saying. But when it's written like this, I'm like, oh, whatever the choice, I might name this index or I. I'm like, oh yeah, the choice that they selected, if it's add. So I can know what's going on right in that one line. Okay, there's a few more cool methods, but I might let you discover them on your own. But they're all in the documentation. Here, let's do one more just to get us amped up about the cool things that third-party packages can do. Okay, there might be some code in here that I haven't thought through. So I'm just going to copy and paste everything from readline sync. So this is just example code that readline sync gave me. But here's like a slider that you could use in your application. So this readline sync, we're talking about readline sync in preparation for a big project that's going to be due. It's going to be like the first I don't know. It's fun, but it's big and hard, like 400 lines of code. It's the RPG, so you'll be making like a line RPG where it's like you've been approached by a werewolf in the forest, and then maybe you could use this slider for, I don't know. It's cool though. Readline sync. Anyway, the first assignment we'll have is the console calculator. So your user will be asked to give you one number and then the next number and then what operation to perform on them. And then after you do that, you'll do the escape room. So and we need to talk about the escape room for a little bit too. So has anybody been to an escape room? Yeah. It's a good time. So we're making it's like, yeah, you have puzzles and you have to like figure out how to get into boxes to get the next.
Or yeah, there's like, then you'll find a clue that'll tell you about like the next puzzle. So you have to kind of go through everything.
Cool. Yeah, they're kind of creepy and fun. But anyway, this one, your player only has a couple of options. They can try and open the door. They can look for the key, or they can put their hand in a hole. And so there's different things that happen for each one of these. If they try to open the door without the key, they'll be told, like, you can't open the door. And here's a pro tip for this assignment is we're gonna wanna use a while loop. One of the few times that we use a while loop. So if you need to like, do a quick Google search for the syntax there, we'll be using a while loop. So that's because what if they just keep trying to open the door over and over and over? You want them to be able to do that. You want them to be able to keep on trying to open the door and just being told, hey, this is locked, hey, this is locked, hey, this is locked. Versus how some people try to attempt this with like an if-then tree, saying like, if any one of these, then give them like those options again, but you can't properly do that without a loop. So you'll have to like make variables for remembering if they found the key or not. But, yeah, and control if they die and stuff just with console logs. You've put your hand in the hole and got bit, and now you're dead, and then the program ends. So. Any questions on that?
Did you use a switch statement?
Totally. It's like a good time to practice the switch statement. But since there's three options, like an if, else would also be appropriate.
Is there a presentation today or something?
I don't know.
Yeah, there's a meetup.
Oh, coming here?
Yeah,
What time? 3?
I think it's
7 to 10.
during the game.
Is it Dallin? Is Dallin coming?
Yeah.
Oh, Dallin's legit. It's during what game? You invested in that? Who are you rooting for?
Utah. That's where I went to school.
Rooting for BYU.
Just because I said Utah.
No, because my friend said Utah too.
Oh, really?
But I like to go against.
Yeah. They have a long streak, so you might want to read.
Utah?
BYU.
I would use Utah kind of serious.
BYU.
Yeah. Free
Yeah,
time, so.
They win, you got big.
You don't want me to make yours.
You better learn how to take it.
Should we do the business time presentation?
I was thinking Monday.
But it's a Mario and business time.
So wait, when's business time gonna be due?
I think we do business time with Mario both on Monday.
Tuesday?
Oh,
Like, that's when
Tuesday.
it's due, or that's when we're gonna start working?
That's when it's due, Tuesday.
Mario?
Mario and business time.
Look at this, we got 5 projects.
Yeah, this weekend. This weekend will be a good time.
We went over responsive web together.
The media quiz. BYU hasn't beat Utah in years, like a decade.
Wait, what was it? We're due for a win today.
They're so square, dude. Kinda.
That's all I've been thinking about today.
The BYU U of U game.
Yeah, it's really hard to.
He's being so sarcastic.
Is that game today?
What's that?
Is that game today?
Yeah. 8:50.
So who's gonna win?
You thought. I need to stop like they're gonna lose and everything.
I heard you're making those cookies.
No.
I can tell something's up because people have the U shirts on. The crossing guards have the BYU flag.
None of this for University of Utah, because that's they're in Salt Lake, right?
It's whether you're blue or red. There's just more blues down there than there are reds. More reds.
Wait, who's good?
So do we support the like calculator and stuff? Do we still just have to have like a link website just so that we can
No, totally a Node.
just
So just a JavaScript file. Yeah, for both of these, just a JavaScript file. Yeah, we haven't done that for a while, so you might need a refresher from your neighbor about how to run those files and stuff.
That's a good word. You keep that one up. Oh, that was it.
Yeah, it was in, Dan put it in Slack.
That's 10 years.
a couple years ago it was like so sensitive, but
Wow, 3,000.
That is 10 years.
For a comeback.
A decade.
It looks like it's teabag. Damn, dude, he jumped out. Must be a trampoline.
Adrenaline.
Yeah. I'm at this Kansas. He was huge. I'm the little guy.
Man, I want a picture like this of me.
Yeah.
you could do that.
I just look at it all the time. That was me.
You could do that just by like hopping.
You know how you can like grab people's shoulders to jump over them? Maybe I could do that, and then somebody could toss me a football.
And then we'll
We'll have a
Photoshop.
photographer ready.
Yeah, in a photo you can't tell that I like hoisted myself.
Yeah.
Maybe he's got teammates back here that like
Who threw him?
Tossed
Yeah,
him.
maybe so.
his blockers.
Maybe that's I'm sure that's legal.
Yeah, why not?
Do we need to use the readline, or is that just an option? It says to use readline.
Yeah, if you want to figure out how to do it natively.
Just not sure why.
Well, how would you get your console to pose a question to the user?
Can't just console log it.
I guess you could, but then it doesn't like.
Like, it tracks like the user's input. I don't know how else you would.
I mean, I'm sure it's native. Let's look at the code right now. Get user input node. Secondly was readline, meaning it's probably like the most common way to do it. Oh, and the first way is readline too. Yeah, this process.stand in. I've seen this.
I can't see it. What's it say?
It's just got like a lot of code that I don't like looking at. You got to set the encoding. So readline sync is doing this under the hood. Standard input.on, giving it a callback function, asking this if statement that I don't understand. I don't want to think through it, right? So then I can just use a third-party package.
I'm just, it seems like a big package just for.
Even then, there's still a package.
Sexual jokes.
Let's see, how big is it? Yeah, I kind of wish they did say how big it was on NPM. But I mean, it's all just text. It's just
Look at your slide.
code files aren't.
You can check your computer.
Yeah. Check yours.
So if they manually do the NPM and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not gonna. NPM and it, you'd be doing more for just practice. You don't need it to like install packages or anything.
But if someone cloned it.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Yep. Exactly right.